Here's a question I've been sitting with. If AI can write your emails, research your questions, plan your schedule, and even finish your sentences, why should you still bother learning anything?
Web3 and AI made simple. Hosted by yours truly, Riza Utile.
If AI can think for you, why should you still bother to learn? I want you to sit with that question for a second. Don't rush past it. Because if you're honest, really honest, part of you is asking it. Maybe you've been asking it for a while. Welcome to season 2 of Web3 and AI Made Simple. I'm Riza Utile. If you've been with me since season 1, thank you genuinely. You've been with me through 12 episodes of building clarity, resisting hype, and learning how to think in a fast-moving tech world. That matters. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a place where nobody gets left behind and nobody gets rushed. Now, season 1 was about understanding what is Web3, what is AI, how do they connect, how do I think about all of this without panicking. Season 2 is different. Season 2 is about the questions nobody's asking, the ones that sit underneath the headlines, the ones that actually about you, your life, your identity, and your future. And I'm starting season 2 with the question that I think at the root of everything. If AI can think for you, why should you still learn? By the end of this episode, you will see your own learning and your own mind in a way you probably haven't before. Let me tell you something that happened recently. There's a teacher, a real teacher, 20 years in the classroom, told me she'd started using AI to write her lesson plans. And at first, she loved it. It saved her hours. The plans were thorough, well organized, creative even. But then one day, a student asked her a question she didn't expect, a genuinely surprising question. And she realized she didn't know the answer. Now, not because she'd never known it, but because she hadn't been thinking deeply about a subject anymore. The AI had been doing that for her. She said something I haven't been able to forget. She said, I stopped thinking hard about my subject, and I think I forgot some of it. Now, I'm not telling you that to scare you away from AI. I use AI tools. Ian, my husband, uses AI tools. They are genuinely useful. But that teacher that I told you her story points to something real, something we need to talk about. When you outsource your thinking, what exactly are you giving away? Here's what we know about how humans learn. Learning isn't just about collecting information. It's about struggle. The moment when something doesn't make sense and you sit in with it and you push through it, that struggle is actually building something inside your brain. And that's connections, pathways, understanding that belongs to you. When AI removes that struggle, it also removes that building. Think of it like this. Imagine you want to build physical strength. You could hire someone to carry everything that is heavy for you. Every box, every bag, every weight. Nothing could ever be difficult. You feel comfortable. But your muscles, they would atrophy. AI is the same way for your mind. If AI is always doing the heavy mental lifting, the researching, the synthesizing, the writing, the deciding, your mental muscles don't get stronger. They get softer. And here's where it gets interesting because there's a second question hiding inside the first one. It's not just why should you still learn, it's what should you still learn, because I want to be fair to AI here. There are things AI can do genuinely better than humans. Of course, we know that. Faster, more accurately, without getting tired, processing enormous amounts of data, spotting patterns in numbers, drafting first version of things, translating languages in real time. If AI is better at those things, should you spend your time on them? Maybe not. Here's the reframe. The question isn't, should I still learn? The question should be, what kinds of learning make me more human, not less? Because there are things AI cannot replicate. Not in 2026, not in 2036, probably not ever. Your lived experience, the way a specific memory shapes your perspective, the emotional intelligence you've built through real relationship, the intuition you've developed through years of navigating hard situations, your values, your conscience. These aren't things you can download. They aren't things AI can generate on your behalf. They are yours, and they are built through engagement with life, including learning. Now, here's where Web3 enters this conversation. Season 1 taught us that Web3 is fundamentally about ownership. Who owns what you create? Who owns your digital identity? Who controls your access to opportunity? Your knowledge, the genuine, hard won experience kind is part of that. In a world where AI can generate content, write essays, produce music, and simulate creativity, the thing that becomes most valuable is what only you bring. Your perspective, your story, your wisdom, your discernment, and those are built through learning. Real learning, the effortful kind. So AI didn't make learning less important. It made the right kind of learning more important than ever. I want to leave you with this. The next time you reach for an AI tool, and I'm not saying don't, I want you to ask yourself one question first. Am I using this to go further than I could on my own? Or am I using this to avoid going anywhere at all? That's the line. Using AI to extend your thinking, brilliant. Using AI to replace your thinking, that's where you start to lose something that's very hard to get back. You're living in one of the most extraordinary moments in human history. The tools available to you right now are unlike anything any generations before you has had. But tools have never in all of history been a substitute for wisdom. And wisdom is still built to the old fashioned way. One question at a time, one struggle at a time, one discovery at a time. That's something no AI can do for you, and that's not limitation. That's what makes you irreplaceable. Thank you so much for being here for the very first episode of season 2. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's been wondering whether to just let AI handle everything. They need to hear this. Next Tuesday, I'm asking a question that might make you look at your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok completely differently. What if you could fire your social media platform? Sounds wild. But by the end of that episode, you might actually want to. I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care of yourselves. Always remember, stay curious, stay grounded, and stay human.